Well, hello everyone. I am magically live and I don't even know what button I pushed to make it happen. I'm burning sage because when I have technical difficulties, I start cursing and I get totally out of the vibration I want to have. So I'm clearing the energy. I think I'm going to have to just start doing live streams every day till I figure out this new format because it's kind of like a miracle every time I find myself going live and I don't know what button I pushed. Hey, happy Valentine's Day. We are here with a full moon reading for the Divine Feminine Astrology. This is full moon and it is the final chapter of Venus retrograde, and that's what I want to spend most of the time talking about. And I have a ton of notes because I knew I would probably forget everything I wanted to say and just ramble, and I don't like to do that. Oh my goodness, let us come together. Thank you for being here, those of you. I see we've got some numbers, and um, I do not understand the comments on this new format. I can't see your comments and interact with you. So feel free to comment if you've got a spot on your screen where you can comment. And I'll catch up with you later. All right, today uh, it's Valentine's Day, February 14th, and it is just under 48 hours until the full moon in Leo. And so that's the background. This full moon is ushering in, it's like the final chapter of Venus retrograde in Capricorn is bookended by this Leo full moon and the Pisces new moon. So we're going to start by giving you a quick overview. I did a presentation yesterday or a couple of days ago that was, I guess it was yesterday. I'm afraid I'm going to burn the house down with the sage. So I did a detailed full moon reading complete with a ritual you can follow. So you can find that on this page if you haven't seen it yet. And today I'm calling this Earth, Air, and Fire because the moon is in fire, Leo. The sun is in air, and Venus and Mars and Vesta are all in Earth, Capricorn. So we're going to be mostly working with those energies, although there's always water. Everybody shows up. So this is a celestial passion play. We have the goddess of love and the god of war, the supreme masculine energy of the chart of the zodiac together in Capricorn. And the full moon is at 28 degrees Leo. The sun is at 28 degrees Aquarius. And this is my location here in Searsport, Maine, the eastern coast of the United States, northern New England. So this is, if you're looking at a different place and time on the planet, the chart's going to be a little different, but 28 degrees or 2759 degrees. I looked it up for Southern Hemisphere out of curiosity. So this energy is the moon, your intuition, your emotions, the cycles of your life, your embodied experience. That's intuition and emotion. They are all grounded in your body. If you are detached from your body, you are detached from your intuition and your emotion. So the moon represents that, and it's in Leo. Leo is the sign of the sovereign, the child, the sun. Um, represents the fifth house of the wheel of the zodiac, which is the sign of creativity, play, art, making things, having babies, children, childlike innocence, creativity. And it's also how we shine in the world. It's how we express ourselves. So Leo's very much about self-expression. And then across the sky is the sun is in Aquarius, which is the sign of the collective, the group, and not the great mass of humanity, but the people that you know, the people that are in your town, in your shop, in your friend circle. And it is how you connect with them and how you fit in. What is your role in this group? And how does this group support you? We human beings do not do life alone. Now, there's room for all kinds of variation, but we are social and we need community connection, tribe. And so Aquarius represents that part of our soul and our psyche. And it's opposite. It's opposite the place where we create, where we go within and we know ourselves. And then it's how we show up and how our showing up is received. So, I have heard this described that the fifth house is the art studio, and the 11th house, or Aquarius, represents the 11th house of the wheel. So the 11th house is the gallery where we show the art that we made in the studio. And of course, that's a metaphor to help you understand the difference and how these two polar opposite signs interact. So the bottom line of the full moon in Leo to me is show up, speak up, create, and let people see what you create. Let people hear your voice. Oh, that feels vulnerable, doesn't it? It's vulnerable and it's rewarding. And yes, it can take courage. It can take kind of swallowing your fear if you're not used to it, if you don't feel safe showing up, and very many of us do not. It's incredibly risky, but Leo is the sign of the heart and courage. And so this moon invites us to have courage to go within, know our truth, create something with it, and share it with others. And in fact, this Leo moon calls us forth to do that. It says, your people need what you have to offer, and you need them. You need your people to have at your belly and your back, to support you, to give you feedback, whether it comes in the form of constructive so-called criticism, but it's always just feedback. And when you realize that something you've offered has touched someone, it is nourishing. And if you never share, you never get that nourishment. So my personal invitation, the invitation of the full moon, is to create something. And it doesn't matter if you believe that you're an artist or a creative person, because we are all creative. It is human nature to create. So if you do have a studio and some tools and some skills in any medium, create. So make some music, learn a new piece, write a poem, write a story, make a picture, make a sculpture, create an adventure in the kitchen, cook something new. And if you don't feel like you have a ton of skills or a ton of time, just grab a pen and doodle, journal, make a playlist of music and move your body. Create a new relationship. Meet someone. Have a conversation. Have one of those nourishing, connecting conversations over coffee or tea or wine, whatever your preference is. And that's a form of creativity. So, order the people in my world are ordering seeds and designing their gardens. So that's a way that you can create in this full moon. Perfect time for it here in the north. You can also make love, have sex, and if you're doing it with fertile partnership, male, female, and you don't want a baby, take extra precautions because could be an extremely fertile time. If you do want a baby, this is a good time to create both lovemaking and ritual invitation to the new soul to come in. So do not hide your light under a bushel and do not cast your pearls before swine. Share with the people who have your back. Now, if you're sharing on social media, lots of people can see it. But this is not, if you know your mother will never understand, or a certain group of people will never get you, don't share with them. Share with the people who love to see what you're bringing forth and will support you even if they don't quite get it. So that's the other thing, is to have discernment and remember who your people are. Know who your people are. Now the dark goddess is involved, so some of us may be called to make waves with our creations, to stir things up, and that's good too. Some of us, that's our job, and if we haven't been doing that, now's the time to do it. So what do I mean with the dark goddess being involved? There's something else going on. The sun and the moon are opposite each other, and square the sun and moon are the north and south nodes. North node in Taurus, conjunct Algol, the Lilith star, the demonized goddess. She is the one who makes us shake in our boots. She is the one who says, y'all fucked up and I am coming back and you're gonna have to clean up this mess. And patriarchy is actually terrified of her, and we have learned to fear her from patriarchy. But the fact is, she's the reason we're here. She is the fertile goddess. All of the divine feminine is tapped into that dark goddess energy, and that ferocity is what will bring us back to life and heal the earth. So this energy has the north node. What's the north node? North node is the point. It's related to the lunar orbit around the earth, and I'm not going to get technical about that, but just know that the north node represents the journey we're on and where we're headed, what we're making, and how we are evolving. It is opposite the south node. The south node's in Scorpio. It makes more sense if I talk about them together. Scorpio is in the 8th house of the zodiac. Scorpio is the shadow world, the world that we have learned to disown within us. That the things that we're afraid of, the things that all the rules and taboos and constrictions have been placed upon us, where the things that have been named as evil. Oh my gosh, that sounds like the demonized goddess, doesn't it? She is Scorpio energy, but she's in Taurus, the realm of Venus, the realm of the body, the realm of the earth. So the South Node is where the path of evolution begins. And where we are at this moment, the planetary energy is that South Node is gathering up all the shadow material around sex, death, money, transformation, repression, the dark things that we don't talk about, that which is dangerous. And it's taking up all the rules and all the suppression and repression and saying, let's bring this into the light. Let's bring this into the body. Instead of repressing all of the stuff that lives in the body, let us elevate the body. Let us be perfectly embodied in a healthy and natural relationship to our bodies, to one another, to nature, to the earth. And it is the divine feminine who will show us the way. And right now, up there in Taurus at 26 and change Taurus, she is representing the dark goddess. So this is a square, and it's a square in the fixed signs, meaning it can feel stuck. And so I've just told you to cut loose and create, and yet there is this energy of stuckness in the chart. And that brings us to the resource that we have. When we have a square, whether it's one square or what's known as a T-square, or this one, which is a grand square, the energy requires action. It requires decision, and it requires courage, because we are being asked to take an action to release this energy. And that means change is going to happen when energy releases. And when it's fixed like this, we can throw up our hands and say, I don't know how. I don't know what to do. What can I do? I'm just one person. And so we find a way. And one of the ways we find is through the corners. You know, if you've got a box and you need to crush that box so you can put it out into recycling, or you don't do it by stepping on the flat side. You step on the corner. So Leo moon and the sun are the corners. That creative energy that you unleash, as I spoke about earlier, that is going to release the energy of the whole box. And in fact, those are fast-moving objects. The nodes move more slowly. They're going to be in place for this full moon cycle and beyond. But the sun and the moon are going to move on. So use this moment. And now we bring in the energy of Mars and Venus. Let me take a look at my notes and see where we are. Okay, great. We're at a moment for taking a breath. So if you've been with me the whole time, you might be ready to take a breath. I'm going to see. It's not showing me any comments. Maybe I need to renew it. I do not understand this. Oh well, I'll just hang with you. Thank you for being here. Please do put any comments or questions or any thumbs up, and yes, I totally feel that, in the comments, and I'll come back after it's posted. So what we have in Capricorn, if you've never heard of Venus retrograde and haven't been following me, I'll give you a quick overview. On December 19th in 2021, Venus turned retrograde in Capricorn. She was conjunct Pluto, just like 3/4 of a degree past Pluto. She was in an exact to the minute trine, a flow energy to the dark goddess I just spoke of, the Lilith star. So she tapped into the dark goddess energy, tapped into death and transformation with Pluto, and she turned backwards and rolled back through Pluto for 40 days. And then on January 29th, just over 3 weeks ago, she met up with the planet Vesta, the priestess. Station direct, she stood still. And Vesta caught up with her, and then together they started retracing Venus steps through Capricorn. And she is on that journey now. As of now, she's at, what does the chart say? Well, as of the new moon, they will be, Mars and Venus will be at 1657 and 1658 Capricorn. And they are in the early 16, the 17th degree of Capricorn now. So this conjunction is already happening. It's been happening all through the weekend. So you may have felt it. I know I did. And so these two, Mars and Venus, are together. Vesta has moved a little bit beyond them, but she's still conjunct. She's about 1.5 degrees ahead of them, or 2.5 degrees. And then they together, Mars and Venus, are going to be doing this little pas de deux, and then they're going to meet up with Vesta, and it's going to be a menage a trois. And that's what I'm going to talk about, because this is happening between now and the new moon in Pisces on March 2nd. And it goes a little bit beyond that to my birthday on March 7th. So that's one reason why I'm so tuned into this astrology, because aside from the fact that Venus and Vesta have so much to tell us right now, and me personally, I'm tuned in because it's my birthday. And if it's your birthday, then, book yourself a reading, and let's see what all this is telling you. So, what does it mean? Well, on the face of it, it's a recipe for romance, because you have the two great lovers of the zodiac in union. They are merging their energies. It's a metaphor for love, for sex, for romance, for partnership, for falling in love and getting married and doing all those things. And it's Valentine's Day. Now, wherever you are on the spectrum of Valentine's Day, you might be total romantic and you're planning something special with your lover, or you've already done it this weekend, or you might be solo and single and sad and blue and wishing it would go away, or having galentines with your friends, or you might be a total cynic. And I've been in all those places. So right now, I'm just tuned in to the astrology, and where my partner and I said Happy Valentine's Day this morning, and every day is Valentine's Day. So what are these two? When Venus and Mars merge, it's libido, it's desire, it's lust, it's passion. It is all of the feelings, physical and emotional, that drive us as human beings. They drive us into partnership. They drive us to show up. They drive us to create. This is the generative energy of our lives, represented by these two. And this is how it happened. Venus went all the way down into the underworld, caught up with Vesta. Vesta took her hand and guided her back. Mars caught up with them. And Vesta's really important to this because Vesta makes things sacred. She is the priestess. She is the keeper of the sacred erotic flame. When you see Vesta, you see sacred sexuality. So we are now taking this into another level, both expanded and deeper, from romance, hearts and flowers and chocolate and, hours of lovemaking. Yes, it's all that. But this is the divine union. And this is something that is happening within us as individuals. And so this is a relationship between you and you, your inner Venus, your inner Mars, your inner Vesta. And it's potent and powerful, expansive and creative energy that you get to share if you want to. But if you don't have anybody to share it with, it's not really about them. It's about what you have going on inside. This is feeding your creativity. So Venus, love, sensuality, pleasure, fertility, romance, but also abundance, wealth, beauty, and on an even bigger, more universal level, values. Venus is universal love, and all of our highest values as human beings and societies are properly rooted in universal love. And she also represents luxury, and the Romans set her up to represent victory. They were a culture of conquest for sure. So we can own all of that inside of ourselves. Victory, success, beauty, luxury. What does that mean to us? I'm wearing cashmere. That's luxury to me. And I am really grateful that I decided I was worth it. And I live on beautiful land in Maine. That's a luxury. And it's an honor and a privilege and a responsibility. And that brings us to the energy of Capricorn. But first I want to talk about Mars, because what does Mars stand for? Well, Mars is libido. Where Mars shows up in your chart tells you a lot about your own erotic energy and how strong your libido is and how you like to express yourself and what turns you on. But he's more than that. He has been co-opted. In the Romans, he was the god of war. That was the ultimate in masculinity. And we still live under that delusion that Mars goes out and conquers, and that Mars conquers the feminine. Our romantic novels are all about being taken. The masculine possesses the feminine. That's a very Victorian kind of idea. I don't think it had much to do with the way things really are. So Mars, masculine energy, yes, he has a sword, he has a shield, he might ride a horse. He is a warrior. What is the warrior? Warrior is sacred divine masculine. The warrior is the protector and the defender. And he's also the hunter. He goes out and hunts the animals that the people may have food, that the people may live. Everything that the warrior does is for the safety and nurturing and the thriving of the people. And who does he take his commands from? Not the general, the goddess. The warrior serves the feminine. The sacred masculine serves the feminine. That is his highest purpose. And her highest purpose is also to serve the people, to know herself, to know her magic and her medicine, to recognize that she is the bringer of life and the sustainer of life. And yes, she needs the masculine energy to do that. They are divine partners in the creation and the sustenance and the thriving of life, the teaching, the nurturing, the initiating, the medicine, the magic, and the mystery of life. This is the work of Venus and Mars together, and especially in Capricorn. In Capricorn, that is the sign of responsibility, structure, institutions, shape and form. And that has so many mystical meanings beyond how we tend to look at it as government and corporation and hierarchies. It's not exclusively hierarchies. It is the container. It's the womb. It's the sacred space of ritual. So we have these two meeting in Capricorn and traveling as Venus is emerging. She has been to the underworld, and about halfway back, she meets up with Mars and she tells him what she learned. And together they are creating their strategy. He's taking his instructions. And perhaps they transmit this language through the divine union, sexual material, the exchange of fluids, maybe. And then they meet up with Vesta. Vesta is there, and right now Vesta has slipped ahead of them, but they're going to come together and meet up with her again in an exact triple conjunction. Several of them, in fact, with other planets. Vesta is the one who makes things sacred. She is the priestess. She holds the sacred she holds the sacred space and ignites the sacred flame. And she empowers their union and fertilizes their union. And she also carries this energy between the earth and the cosmos. She taps into Black Moon Lilith energy and creator energy. She is the one who is just stitching all this together in a sacred way. So I invite you to take a breath. Breathe into your belly. I teach that Vesta, and men and women have Vesta. She is in all of us, but I teach that women have this sacred altar with the sacred flame in their wombs. And in men, it would be sitting in the seat of the prostate, which is the seed space or the grounding space of their erotic energy. So feel into that space inside of you where your desire rises up, your libido rises up, where your sense of juiciness and fullness or your erection rises up. And there you will find Vesta tending that flame. And that flame rises and it connects your second chakra, your third chakra, your heart, and it will connect your voice and it will rise through your crown. The sacred union runs the whole channel of your being. So see if you can feel that energy within you. And if you need to come back to this, when you've got space and time and quiet, then remember my words and just feel the three of them together. The priestess. This is the Hieros Gamos. This is the sacred union. The king and the queen, the priestess and the god and the goddess, administered, presided over by the one who holds the space. And it is something that happens so that life can continue. So I invite you sometime between now and the full moon, maybe right before you go into your creative time that we talked about earlier, feel into that energy. And yes, you can bring this into lovemaking. You can share it with a partner. You can share it solo with yourself. You can bring it into art making. Bring it into everything you do over these next 2 weeks, full moon to new moon. And get to know how this quality merges in you, because most of us have one or the other predominant, and we may have one or both actually dysfunctional, because that's what the society has done to us. We are bereft, we are without initiation. We do not understand these energies. We don't know how to carry them in our body, how to work with them, how to heal them, cleanse them, empower them, and allow them to expand. And so it's all right if it feels a little weird. If you're, just feel what you feel and know that that's enough. You're okay. You're okay. Just set the intention and say, oh my gosh, yes. Oh my gosh, yes. I will own this union within me. And you can also say, I seek to know more. Teach me. So let's see, what else do we have here? So this is energy that's at your disposal, and I want you to remember this. And this is actually a great mystery, but I'm just going to plant the seed and let it bloom inside of you. The feminine calls the shots. She is the one with the desire and the idea. She is the one who knows what needs to be done. And she says to the masculine, do this. And so the masculine's role is protector, defender, guardian. And yes, he will do battle and go get. On a more energetic level, masculine energy is um, relentless focus and decisiveness and going and get it, going and getting it. Sequencing, deciding, okay, this is how you're going to do it. This is how I'm going to do it, and getting it done. And that's why, especially on the human realm, we women, when we want to engage the masculine to do it, to do something, we need to be really clear about what we want the end result to be, and possibly do a little less micromanaging, let go of how it's done, as long as we're very clear about the outcome we want. That's like getting into relationship medicine 101. So it's a little complicated, but yes, masculine energy, whether it's the masculine within you or the masculine in a man in your life, allow that masculine to do its job and focus on the outcome. And I think this may be what universal law is referring to when it says, let go of the how. Somebody knows the how, and the how is revealed bit by bit. But the feminine, who is the one having the desire and naming the desired outcome, isn't the one who knows necessarily all the steps to get it done. She delegates that to the masculine. Ooh, I didn't know I was going there. We'll have to come back and talk more about relationships and how this is represented. So I want to give you a little bit of a sneak preview about what these planets are doing in the interim between now and the next new moon. So we have this full moon energy, which is creative and which is tapping into this collective North Node, South Node. And then how are they going? I didn't bring all my resources with me. Let's see. That's okay. I've got them memorized pretty well. First off, these are doing a dance. Right now, I think Venus is a little bit ahead of Mars, and then Mars is going to pass Venus, and then Venus is going to pass, Mars is going to pass Venus. And it's going to look like this. Vesta is leading, the priestess is leading, then there's Mars, then there's Venus. So these two are corralling the masculine energy and saying, this is what we need you to do. This is how we want you to show up. This is what we want you to go get. You have this available to you, men and women out there, and it's really strong over the next 2 weeks. And on 2/22, I looked this up. I was doing a client's astrology reading, and she was talking about master numbers. And so just for fun, I looked up, well, what's going on February 22nd at 2:22 a.m. And so I looked it up, and it's a triple conjunction. They are all in the they're all within a degree of each other, 20 to 21 Capricorn, those three. And for her, it happened to be sitting on top of her personal natal North Node. So if you're listening, you know who you are. Remember This energy right now, it's active on either side of 222, but on that day, launch something, plan something, do a huge ritual to empower whatever is coming up. And all of you can do that. Now, you may not know, it's probably not on your North Node, but it's somewhere in your chart. All of this energy is somewhere in your chart. Find out where that is. If you want my help, I'll put the link in the comments. And then on the 27th, they have moved into an exact conjunction at 24 Capricorn, and they're joined by the moon. So there's 4 planets. The moon that was full, that's full on Wednesday, comes all the way around and says, let me in. So you have intuition, emotion, all the feelings, the inner truth of your body, of your gut brain, of your soul, merging with Mars and Venus and Vesta in Capricorn. Make something. This is where you use that energy to shift, and it takes a nanosecond. The vision, the decision is instantaneous. The road ahead may be long and winding and not necessarily easy or 100% clear, but the creative impulse is happening now. And the 22nd, and especially on the 24th, very important days. I'm sorry, the 27th of February. And that's right before the new moon. On March 2nd, at the new moon, everybody, the moon has gone to merge with the sun in Pisces, but Venus and Vesta and Mars have joined up with Pluto. They are all sitting at 27 degrees, the 28th degree of Capricorn. So they are all in exact conjunction with Pluto that day. And later that day, a few hours after the new moon, Venus actually moves past 26 or 27, 26. She moves past the place of her, where she turned retrograde. So the retrograde era is finally over. But the story is not over, because Venus and Mars are up to speed, and 4 days later, in the wee hours, like just after midnight my time, on March 6th, Venus and Mars have another exact conjunction, and they cross over into Aquarius within 10 minutes of each other and make the exact conjunction at 0 degrees and 1 minute of Aquarius. Now, you remember how powerful that was when Jupiter and Mars did that back a little over a year ago. Well, all this energy I've been talking about in Capricorn has been gathered. All of this earth energy and sacred union energy, and it is shifting into Aquarius. And Aquarius, the sign of the collective, it's where this energy can begin to show up in your community, and it begins to ripple out into the world, and you will notice the changes in your world. If you are diligent and staying connected and allowing this energy to move through you and sharing the opportunity for this energy to move through you with other people. If you've got a circle of women or a circle of friends, let them know that we're all in this together, that you all are in this together. So you can share this. You can either just tell them, or you can share my video with them in your social media or your emails, and this will be on, for people who aren't on Facebook, they can find it on YouTube. Just listen to this and let it in, and realize that we are in a time of profound collective love and creativity, and our raw materials are all the shit that's going on. Ooh, that's another live stream. But and there's more to tell. So as I do a new moon reading, and maybe I'll do a birthday reading for myself and share that with you, because what's going on in other signs and other houses and other planetary aspects is important information. But I think right now you've got enough. If you can let this in, especially for this full moon, you can get a whole lot of healing done, a whole lot of creating done, and you can have a whole lot of play and pleasure. And play and pleasure heal. Liz Cook, I believe, is who I recently heard say that the energy of healing is play and pleasure. It's not pain and suffering. We've really got it screwed up in our mechanized, industrialized, pharmaceuticalized culture. So no matter what's going on for you, see if you can find that place, that sacred flame, that creative energy, and feel that energy and let it come out. And if you need some help with that, that's my work. We can start with the Divine Feminine Astrology reading, but we could also go deeper. We can go deeper into sexual healing and initiation, and learning about your womb wisdom, and who is your Lilith and who is your Vesta. I'm here for you. If you feel called, feel a strong desire to do the work. So I wish you a very sexy full moon in Leo, a very joyful, playful, magical full moon in Leo. And I wish you good health, good weather, clear skies, and the love of your friends and your community. And thank you so very much for being here. Aho.